Um, Hello again, as Johnston Blackhorse once more, and I figure since I'm making and posting videos, I may as well address something that's been bugging me for the last, I guess, couple of months, and it's something that I don't know, has personally been nagging at me. But anyway, getting to it. As many of you know, that I was incarcerated for the last couple of years. I was sentenced June 25th, 2015, and self-surrendered on September 25th, 2015. And during that time, I guess getting to it. After my sentencing, I was given 3 months total to get my affairs in order, and my sister was able to assist me in doing that, and she's been a great help in doing so. She was very kind and generous, and just quitting her whole life in Phoenix in order to move to Las Vegas, Nevada, here in my apartment, in order to help me get all these affairs in order and just have everything set up and prepared for when I was released. And during that time, after my sentencing, I was allowed to continue producing adults' drawings for financial purposes in order to make ends meet and to make a gainful income. And through that, my sister and I were able to hook up the internet in her name, and we were able to gain commissions through her. She was able to assist me a great deal in that. But also in doing that, I had access to Netflix and YouTube. And during the last couple months before my self surrender, I began watching a whole plethora of movies that I hadn't been able to watch before, as I was on a year of pretrial home confinement, during which I didn't have access to like the internet, or like wasn't able to go out and like watch movies at a theater, or whatever. But you get the idea. During the last 2 months, I just began a whole like a binge watching spree of like just movies and TV shows that I wouldn't get a chance to watch while I was incarcerated. And during that time, yeah, I watched a lot of movies, and one of those movies being the animated feature film Kung Fu Panda 3. And I watched the whole movie in its entirety from beginning to end in the comfort of my own home. And um, after coming out of prison, I began to catch up on all the media that I had missed out on during my incarceration. So I began binge watching like a bunch of the YouTube channels that I enjoyed, and caught up on a whole bunch of the animated web series and fan made films that I had looked forward to for so long. Some of those being like a DBZ, Rooster Teeth animated shorts, and so on. And upon like watching all these like YouTube videos, like I came across the whole like Mandela Effect phenomenon, and it really caught my attention, because it was because I shared a whole bunch of the same like beliefs that certain images, logos, or like historical events were a certain way, only to find that that was incorrect, I guess, in this timeline. But after watching all these videos, like and the whole theory about it proposed that they were all just false memories, and a wide variety of people shared these false memories and more or less tricked themselves in believing something was a certain way when it really wasn't. So as I was slowly beginning to adopt that idea that maybe like I was wrong, and if so, like maybe a lot of people were wrong in assuming, or like thinking that these memories were a certain way when they weren't. Like before I could really settle into that idea, like I had, I guess, a Mandela effect, a personal Mandela effect happen to me, and it's something that I just haven't been able to shake for a while. And I don't know if anyone else shares this experience because I doubt anyone else would have been able to notice it. But after my release, like I began, like I said, like binge watching like YouTube channels and like started catching up on all the movies I had missed out on Netflix. And looking through all the movies, I saw that Kung Fu Panda 3 was still available. So my sister and I sat down and watched the whole thing, and it was just as I had remembered it before going to prison. And once we finished watching it, like I stated to my sister, like, yeah, I thought that was one of the movies that I had watched without her before my incarceration, because I had seen like a bunch of movies just before my self-surrender in 2015 to just like pass the time and to catch up on like a whole like I said, like a whole lot of movies that I wouldn't movies or TV shows that I wouldn't have access to once incarcerated. And I told my sister, like, yeah, Kung Fu Panda 3 was one of them, and she stated that that couldn't have been possible. And asking her like why that was, she revealed to me that Kung Fu Panda 3 was actually released after I was incarcerated, and I couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept that what she was telling me. So we went through like all the websites like DreamWorks and IMDb and just looked at all the info about Kung Fu Panda 3, and all of the websites across the board stated that it was in fact released in January 2016. So there was no way I could have seen it on Netflix um, before my self-surrender and incarceration on September 25th, 2015. So I don't know. I just couldn't accept it. And the thing is that yeah, there are like movies available in prison, movies that the prison itself selects and releases on like a self-contained or self-enclosed movie broadcasting system, which is available on the prison movie station. But I don't believe Kung Fu Panda 3 was one of those movies. But I do admit that toward the end of my stay at the prison I was incarcerated at in early 2017, the movie Kung Fu Panda 3 was available on the FX movie station, where they were doing animated movie marathons at that time. But I knew that even though that they were showing Kung Fu Panda 3 on the FX movie station or movie channel, I didn't bother to watch it because personally I knew that I had seen the movie from beginning to end before my incarceration. So I didn't take it upon myself to sit down and watch it. Rather, I opted to utilize that time to write all the letters and draw all the pictures that are available on my blog, posted by my sister. So, knowing that I made the conscious effort to not watch the movie while in prison, thinking that I had already seen it before my incarceration, was just just a fact known to me. And after coming out and watching the movie again and seeing it and like knowing the full story from beginning to end and remembering it as it was, like um, when I saw it the first time back in 2015, it was just weird to see that all the evidence shows that wasn't that wasn't possible in the least, because as it all evidence shows that it was released in January 2016 and not possible for me to have seen it before then. Uh, Damn it, Bryce, you're in the shot. Anyway, that's my roommate Bryce. He's just enjoying some chips and whatever. But like getting back to the whole Mandela effect thing, like I, it's just one of those things I just can't wrap my mind around because I know that I'd seen it before being incarcerated, but that's just not the case. And thinking about it, like it was suggested that perhaps I had watched the movie immediately after coming uh, home for like my last bit of my incarceration for home confinement. Perhaps I had like seen it on Netflix and just took it upon myself to watch it, and mistakenly like thought that I had seen it before going to prison. I almost accepted that idea, but knowing full well that while I was incarcerated, like the movie was available on the FX movie channel, and knowingly making the conscious decision not to watch it because I knew in my heart that I had already seen the movie. I I just can't accept that idea that it was a mistaken memory because I know that it wasn't. Anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and share that personal Mandela effect of mine, and I don't know if anyone else shares that experience because it was such a specific chain of events which led me to acknowledge that as a Mandela effect, and I doubt it, anyone else would have been able to see that detail or see the shift in those in that information or whatever it is. But, I guess other than that, I do have my own personal theory on what this Mandela effect might be and what possibly caused it to happen, but it does coincide with like all the videos that I've already been viewing and such. But if you care to hear that theory of mine, like I guess leave a comment like saying that you're interested in hearing what my thoughts on it. And also, like before my incarceration, I did promise that I would make videos like detailing like paranormal events that have happened to me in my life and also in this apartment. And I do make plans to make those videos because like paranormal activity and paranormal events is just something that I am fascinated in, only because I do have personal events that can't readily be explained by um, just I guess in the realm of just how we see, I guess how we define reality. So, huh? Oh yeah, yeah, that just can't be explained by science. Thank you, Bryce. Thanks for being my video. You made that explanation a lot easier. But yeah, like I've had personal paranormal events that have happened to me throughout my throughout my life and even in this apartment that just can't be explained by science. So I'm willing to share those stories with you. And if you're interested, just leave some likes or comments in the field below, and I'll share those experiences or stories at a later time. And yeah, I guess I'll check you guys later.
And I'm about science, by the way.
Oh, Bryce is really big on science and not too into the whole paranormal events and whatnot. Are you?
It's interesting. I find it interesting, but I kind of like. I always think of it as like if individuals think about it way too much, they make it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just and I mean it, it goes further into like explaining things stuff like that. I mean, we talking about something that's
So
that it becomes bizarre within itself.
So are you stating that if people like put too much thought into it, they like possibly physically manifest this thing or concoct this paranormal event through their own like maybe will or mind power or belief?
Do I agree with it? I'm not certain about that, but that's one of like the theories that comes behind it.
Yeah,
I'm not this missing anything, but I'm always the guy that's like the first thing comes first. I'm gonna explain it with science,
yeah,
and that'll be my first thing that I would like allude to. And
yeah,
if I can't explain it with that, then it's something that's beyond me.
yeah. Like I tend to do the same thing. Like I'll watch paranormal videos and ghost footage, and like I'll look at it with an analytical point of view, and and also with a speculative eye. And there are like a lot of paranormal videos that I'll sift through and just pretty much call bullshit on, either because like it just a lot of these paranormal videos just look fake, like with the digital rendering and just people just willing to make fake paranormal content in order to produce views. And a lot of them are just really easy to spot. But then there are like a certain few videos that are just really, really hard to dismiss. And those are the videos that I find are really generally creepy and eerie. But yeah, part of my some of my pastime is just like used up just by like watching ghost footage and just debunking a lot of it, and it's somewhat of a personal hobby of mine. Maybe I could do some of those videos in the future, just debunking like ghost footage or like paranormal videos and just calling bullshit on like what it is. But I do tend to sift through a lot of these just to like find like I guess what you would call the genuine article, and there are several videos and like posts that have just just that just get me stumped, and those are the ones that I really seek and just find just truly eerie and creepy. But anyway, I'll leave all that for like a later date, and if you're interested in any of that, or if you want to like see me make like other videos of that nature, like please leave a comment below expressing that interest, and maybe when I get the time, when I find the time, I'll get around to it. So I guess that's it. Check you guys later.